Hi, and welcome to Sunday with Mike. Today we're going to cover trademarks, service marks, and registration marks, and we're going to explain all of that. Record companies, my own personal ceremony setup, and finally a microphone labeling and color coding scheme that I think you might enjoy. So grab a cup of coffee and join me. I'll be right back. Welcome back. I wanted to discuss the importance of service marks, but before we can really talk about how important that is for your business, you really need to know what that is and what all does it mean. So let's back up a little bit, shall we? Have you ever seen TM or SM behind the name of a product? For example, we have Blue Bunny and Farmers Insurance, and if you'll notice on the Blue Bunny, it's a TM, and that's the correct abbreviation because it's a product, not a service, but yet it has not been granted registration by the United States Patent and Trademark Office. We're just going to call that USPTO for this point on. So if you were offering a service as a DJ, you would put SM behind your name as Farmers Insurance has done. Once the registration process is approved and the USPTO has issued a registration number, they would both become a circled R, or just a registered. So let's take a look at my company logo. As you can see, we have a circled R because our name has been approved and issued a registration number. In case you were wondering, it's actually illegal to place the circled R registration mark on anything that's not legally registered in the United States. So if you have a company name that isn't registered with the federal government and you find someone else using that name, there isn't much you can really do about it because you don't own it. You're just claiming it. So if your company name really matters to you and you want to protect it, you should consider hiring a trademark attorney and go through the necessary steps to secure a registered service mark. If you'd like to search and see if your company name is available, you can look it up at www.uspto.gov. If you don't find anyone using the same name, you can start adding the SM to the back of your company name right away, everywhere, as you go through this process. I'll be right back.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Hi, and welcome back. You know, as a DJ, I feel that you should know a lot more about music than from the year that you started being a DJ. I feel like you need to go back and research the roots and learn more about the artists and what made their music popular, as well as the trends that have changed over the years. One of my favorite ways to unwind at the end of the night is to fire up YouTube and search for artist and band bios, record studios, and many other things related to the music industry. It's been an interesting journey over the years to learn more and more about these topics, and I highly suggest that you do the same. After all, it's free, so why not dive in and learn more history about music? Take the case of Elvis Presley. He became famous in Memphis, Tennessee, but why was he there to begin with? He wasn't born there. Neither was B.B. King and so many other famous artists who became a star from that area of the country. I'm going to let you find out those answers for yourself, but it's those kinds of questions that keep me up at night, and I hope that you'll be curious enough to start doing some of your own research. So I have some starter ideas for you to get you started. Check out all that you can about some famous recording studios from days gone by. Sun Records and Stax Records in Memphis, Tennessee. Motown Records in Detroit, Michigan. And RCA's Studio B in Nashville, Tennessee. And our last one is Muscle Shoals Sound Studios in Alabama. And I also want you to find out why the Rolling Stones went all the way to Alabama to record one of their famous songs. While you're at it, check out famous DJs from the old days like Dewey Phillips from Memphis, Tennessee, and Alan Freed from Cleveland, Ohio. All of these things are important and what got you to where we are today as modern disc jockeys. Finally, why was there a radio station called WHER, and why was it ahead of its time? You have no idea how easy it is today to learn all that you can about being a DJ. Take advantage of these resources and don't be embarrassed to bring up DJ history with your peers. It's truly amazing the amount of data that's at our fingertips if you'll just dive in. I'll be right back. Hi. Over the years, I have tried to use technology to my advantage every chance that I get, and my current basic ceremony setup is one of the things that I have reduced down to the bare bones minimum. I want you to take a look at my basic ceremony system that takes care of a large majority of the ceremony needs that I have for my clients. And as you can see from this photo taken last Saturday, I'm using a single 12-inch speaker on a stand, and on top of that speaker is a Shure wireless receiver for the handheld microphone that the officiant and the readers will use during the service. So what's missing from this picture? Take a look at it really close. Where's the music? One of the cables coming from the back of that speaker is going to be plugged into my phone, which I was using to take the picture, and all of the music for the ceremony, including the background music, will be played directly from my phone. I've done it this way for several years now, and I highly recommend it. I use the DJ2 app on my phone, and my phone is also placed in the Do Not Disturb mode so that no other sounds come through the phone. This is an ultra important step that you cannot forget to do before you use your phone so that no sound whatsoever gets into that speaker except your music. I use the height to my advantage in this particular setup because we're on a deck. And so this 12-inch powered speaker was more than loud enough to handle the ceremony. And if I would have needed more coverage for a larger area, all I would have needed to do is daisy chain out of the first speaker into the second. And that would have doubled my output. And of course, since these are self-powered, we can just keep daisy chaining as many as we need. So I realize that many of you use lots of lavalier microphones during your ceremonies, and this setup wouldn't necessarily work for you because you need more mixing control, etc. But in my area, this works for me and my clients about 95% of the time. It's lightweight, it's simple, it's easy to set up and tear down, and I hope it inspires you to take advantage of today's technology and make your setups easier for you and more professional looking to your guests. I'll be right back. In our final segment, I wanted to discuss microphone labeling and color coding. And most of you haven't worked in production, and unless you've worked in production, you might not have a clue why people put colored tape on microphones like this, different colors. I want you to imagine that you have 10 microphones being used by different people that are all in front of you. They're all on, they're all active, and you need to turn one of them. Somebody over there is talking and they can't be heard very well, so you need to turn that one up. If you don't have colored tape, then you have to look at some sort of a piece of paper, try to figure out who that person is in the list, and then look up what channel they're plugged into on the board, and then finally you get to adjust the microphone louder. Wouldn't it be much faster to have blue tape on the microphone, blue tape on the board, and when I'm holding this microphone talking, you see blue tape and hey, blue needs to come up, blue needs to come down, or whatever that is. It makes things really, really simple in production world when you're using a lot of microphones all at one time. I've labeled my microphones over the years primarily so that I would know which one was number one, which one was number two when we're not doing major production jobs. So I have many microphones that I've also added the colored tape to, but just recently I was kicking myself for not thinking of this idea sooner, and I wanted to share the mistake that I was making with you so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. So here we go, some more hands-on. If you notice on this Shure mic, I have the label and it says Shure, DMS number 1, and it's in line with the power switch, right? So when this thing is in a mic clip, especially for a ceremony, for me makes it easy for me to turn it on and off because the switch is right here on top, but it also puts this label on all of the pictures that the photographer is going to be taking, and that's not good. So then I started turning the label down, but then the switch is in the clip and it's a pain. So why not just turn the label on the other side? So what we did was we relabeled it on the back side, but over here, the power switch. So when it's in the clip, you're not going to see that at all, but yet I have easy access to the power switch. Sounds really simple, and it is when you stop and think about it. And this is one of those evolutionary things where you just keep, every time you set something up, how can I make this simpler? How can I make it better? And this is just one of those little bitty baby steps, but it's going to greatly reduce the aggravation that I have every time I go to turn that microphone on for a ceremony. So I hope that helps you. That's going to wrap up our show, and I'm going to be back next week with all new topics. And next week will be a very special show because it's number 52. It's a number that we never thought we would achieve, and we're going to be there next week. So I hope you'll tune in. We're here to help you and your business improve. I hope that you'll share the show with some of your friends and then give me your thoughts and comments down in the comments section. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate those very much. So until next Sunday, be safe, and thanks for watching.